Hello, everybody. How are you?
Hi, how are you, sir?
Good.
Is that Bach singing tower in your background?
Which one?
The background photo you have, is that Bach singing tower?
Yeah.
That's awesome there. I've been there a couple of times.
Yeah. Are you have a you gator?
No, I'm not, but just my family growing up, we would go camping a lot, and so we've been over there to visit a couple of times.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful city.
Yeah, for sure. Very nice.
So I guess everybody's checking the news.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be a long week.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, we'll see.
Chris is not here, but he's going to start with the irrigation part. So hopefully he's going to sign, soon.
Okay.
Hello, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you first.
Okay, thank you. I got a question for the about the exam.
Uh-huh.
I can do the exam on an iPad or should be on a computer?
I guess you can do it in your iPad. I'm not sure. I mean, let me ask.
Do we have to download something in particular, or just you sent a link and we go into the link and we take the test?
Yeah, basically it's a link. It's a Qualtrics. It's like a type of survey type of platform. But the IT guy told us that yeah, we send a link and that's it. So basically, I guess you can do it for your iPad.
Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Sure. Hey, Chris, how are you?
Sorry.
Yeah, Sean, go ahead.
I was just going to ask about the plant ID. Is it just going to be, in terms of the material that was covered, really the only thing we went over was scientific name, common name, and like a photo. Will there be descriptions as well, or no?
No, remember this platform is only, multiple choice type of answer. So basically it's going to be like a photo and 4 choices. And you need to select which choice is the correct one.
Okay.
So it's very easy. I mean, there's remember 25 question multiple plan ID. So only you have the list has 30, so you need to, it's basically 25 out of 30.
Okay.
I have one question about the same thing. Probably it's too much information about the test, but I want to make sure of something. And those choices that you're going to put about the plan are going to be like different ways of writing the scientific name, like the correct and another one like misspelling, or going to be just one and the other ones are going to be another species?
I don't know.
You're going to tell me that. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Henry, I actually had a question about the exam as well, if you have a moment.
Sure.
It involves, I know that each section is broken up into 25 questions apiece. Is there kind of a standard for, like pass fail? Does it have to be all 25 to get right and pass a section? I mean, is there like a break-off point in terms of pass fail for each section?
Yeah, you need to have a 75%.
Okay.
In each section, and the overall also. So the overall has to be 75%. So yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Any other question? Guys, did you receive the study guide, the study material? I think Kevin sent some attachments on an email to everybody. So did you
Yes.
receive it? Okay, everybody receive it?
Yes, we receive a link for a video in YouTube, and then we receive another email, right?
Well, not really. There are several PDF files with the tree grading and tree materials.
So I didn't receive it then.
Didn't receive it. Okay.
No.
So let me resend it tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I received everything. The only thing that I hadn't received, which Kevin I think sent out, was the list of the 30 trees and shrubs. That was the only thing I was missing. I got the 2 manuals, the information regarding irrigation and all that I received. So.
Okay. So let me try to send it tomorrow to everybody. All right, Chris, are you ready?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Very good. So, all right. So the floor is yours. So this is Chris Mueller. He's the. You can introduce yourself. So he's going to do irrigation.
Just irrigation, right?
Yes, the irrigation plan review irrigation. Yeah.
You got it.
All yours.
Awesome. Hey guys, how you doing? I see there's 4 of you. My name's Chris. Right now I'm a project manager with, oh, there's more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you. I'm a project manager with Dixie Landscape. I'm a certified arborist, LIAF certified landscape inspector. I have a master's degree in landscape architecture from FIU. I'm the vice president on the board of directors for the Broward chapter underneath Kevin. Done this review. I think this is my 3rd time. The YouTube link that you guys should got was of the previous review. That one covered landscape and irrigation. So right now I'm just gonna go over a plan with you guys. Oh, it's disabled. Oh, Henry, are you there? Can you let me share my screen? Henry? Oh, there we go. Alrighty. All right, can you guys all see this?
Yes.
Awesome. So I'm going to show you guys 2 different plans and then just a couple things to look at when you're looking at irrigation plans. So irrigation, how do you know you're looking at an irrigation plan? It's almost always an IR and it should say irrigation plan. That's just, basic. Here's another one, IR1, irrigation plan. So here's one that has like a title, overall page as the IR1. And this one's gone ahead and given you the legend of pretty much everything that you're going to use while doing this irrigation system. Just to go back, this one doesn't have it on the first page, but if you go to the last page, they'll have a notes and a details section. So these are just little things to show you the differences between the 2 sets of plans. Some will show you in the front, some will show you in the back. If it's like a single family home, usually it's all on the same page. But anyways, going back to this one, here it'll show you information about your pump. You'll want to know just how to look at your pump. You'll want to know how to look at how many gallons, how many horsepower the pump has, gallons per minute. This is actually the sign for the valve. They put pump letter station number, probably because there's multiple pumps, but this should be how they show a valve. This would be the valve size, how many gallons per minute that valve has, and the number of the valve should correspond to the timer. Here they're telling you what specific Rainbird valves they want, what specific valves, Here's their pump. So here's the big P. Proposed Hoover pumping systems, prefabricated fiberglass enclosed pump. It should tell you more or less 7.5. I think it's a small pump. Tells you the power that the pump is going to require, 208 volt single phase. Here's an existing 7.5 horsepower pump. They want ductile iron, HDPE, weld-on isolation gate valves. Here you'll see class 200 PVC. If you guys know anything about PVC, there's different. There's schedule 40, there's schedule 80, there's class 200, class 400, I think. Here's a different kind of mainline that's being used a lot, HDPE mainline with fusion weld. That one's actually the really hard black plastic HDPE that you actually have to like melt it and weld it together. So that one's a little more complicated. And then here, just, you know, they're telling you here, this is drip line. You'll see it a little bit later. Class 200 PVC sleeves with schedule 40 fittings. This is for the sleeves. This is for the PVC fittings. Here it'll show you a breakout of the heads. So you guys want to be able to know how many gallons per minute these pumps or these heads are going to be putting out. This is mostly the head with the nozzle. So this is a Rainbird 1800 series with a Hunter nozzle on it. 360, this will tell you the arc. This plant has gone and told us how many heads they're going to need. So there's 205 bubblers, there's 48 double bubblers, and then they go ahead and break it out for you. It'll tell you the design PSI. So this will the PSI per nozzle. It'll tell you the gallons per minute per symbol. So 1.27, 0.25, 0.50. And this is variable because all of these are variable adjustment nozzles. Notes, you'll just want to be able to look at all the notes. First thing you want to do is look at notes. And here you can see it looks like we have 5 pages. So this is IR1. This will be 2, 3, 4, and 5. North is up. And as always, check your scale. The cover page usually doesn't have a scale on it. We'll go to the next page. So here you can see, first thing I look at is try to find the pump, identify the pump, identify the main line. So proposed 3-inch HDPE main line. Again, soil moisture sensor, schedule 40 gray PVC conduit. So here, you know, people look at plans differently. Usually the zones should rotate clockwise in numbers. So as you leave the pump, you'll have zone 1, you have zone 2, zone 3, etc. And then working your way back, you'd have 10, and 10 is probably the last one before you get back to the pump. So that's just a rule of thumb. Most people do that, some don't. You want to look at sizing on the pipes. This plan's a little weird because of these boxes. But so we know it's a 3-inch main line, right? So now when you come to this valve, it's a 1.5-inch valve. It's got 41 gallons per minute on this valve. Leaving the valve, this call out right here, it's 2-inch pipe as soon as you leave the valve. Tees off, then immediately changes to 1.25 inches. You could follow the pipe going down, tees off here to a 3/4, keeps going as a 1-inch. When it has that loop, it's usually just telling you this line has nothing to do with the other line. So you see, you get like 5, 6 loops sometimes because all the pipes are running. But again, irrigation plans, they're mostly diagrammatic. Just like if you guys see those little dashes, that's supposed to be drip line. So there's no exact edge to the drip line. It's just telling you, you know, here's drip line. So that's, you know, telling the sizing of the pipes. We'll go to this one just so you guys could see a different style. I don't know exactly which plan you guys are going to look at, but most of them should, you know, function the same way. Here's your valve, valve 6 followed by 29. So these are definitely out of order, but 3, 4, 5, 29, 6, 7. But same thing. So you got a 2-inch valve, 31 gallons per minute. That's almost nothing for a 2-inch valve. A 2-inch valve can pump out to almost like 100 gallons per minute. And then there you see an 1.5 inch coming out, switches to 1.25 inches, has all these heads on it. Here you guys can see a different plan. I'm going to show you, this is all nice and dandy because it's in green area. But so when you guys are crossing the street, green area. Boom, existing 2-inch. So here you can see on the first page, it should tell you the different, how they're going to draw out sleeves. Usually it's a dash line, but here it calls for a 6-inch and a 2-inch sleeve via directional bore. Wherever you have to cross underneath a pavement, be it a sidewalk, here you go, be it sidewalk, a roadway, underneath a building, your pipe has to go inside of a sleeve. And what that means is double whatever size the water is going to be flowing through. So if your water is flowing through a 2-inch pipe, you want to put a 4-inch pipe underneath the road with a 2-inch pipe inside of it. And what that does is it protects that 2-inch pipe in case that 4-inch was ever to get crushed or anything like that. You still have 2 inches of room in there where the pipe isn't going to hopefully break. So here you can see these sleeves leaving this island, going to the next island. You have a 3-inch sleeve and a 2-inch sleeve. Same thing here. You have 2-inch sleeve, 2 2-inch sleeves, another 2-inch sleeve, 2-inch sleeves. So you guys will want to be able to tell, you know, where's the parking lot and how's the irrigation getting there. If it's a main line, you know, it's going to be a much bigger sleeve. Let's go switch back over to this. I'm sorry if I'm confusing you guys. Just trying to show you different kinds of plans. See, so this one, we talked earlier about how the schedule was on the first page in the other plan. Here now they've done it on the last page, or second to last page. So here we have different heads, and this will tell you the PSI of the head, the quantity that they have on it. You know, this is a turf 6-inch pop-up sprinkler with a wiper seal, Rainbird, you know, 327. You have bubblers. These are, I believe, rotors. Yeah, rotors. So this tells you the GPM. You want to be able to tell, you know, how many GPM and PSI a head has. I think you'll be questioned on that. You'll want to know PVC pipe. You know what, like we talked about here, it calls out the main line being schedule 40, the sleeve being class 200, and the lateral pipe being class 200. It even tells you how many feet you have. So if you're an estimator, you know, this is a great tool because they're telling you how many feet and you don't really have to measure it out, even though I'd always suggest to measure it out. Let's see if we can, yeah, so here you have the main line wrapping around, not in the gas easement. Existing zones. So this is an existing system that we'll be tapping into. You got mainline and direct burial control wires installed adjacent to mainline. So again, this is like, looks like it's an existing system that's going to need repairs. If we go to the new stuff, which is on this end, here's another way to locate the sleeve. Usually it's a dash line. Heads. You want to be able to tell where the pump is. Again, my first thing I always try to do is find the pump. And it's usually, if it's a well, it'll be off to the side, or if there's a lake, your best guess is that maybe it's a suction line. So here's your pump. You want to know where the pump is in terms of direction. So north arrow being up. So this pump is on the northeast corner of the lake. Main line and sleeves, you guys will know, you'll be experts by the end of this on how to tell what size the main line and sleeves are. This one, doesn't call it out as much as the other one did. The other one called it out every so often. This one, if you look, it doesn't seem to be calling out exactly what size mainline it is. So in that case, you would just go back to the details. And you'd hope it'd tell you what size mainline it is. It doesn't. So let's find out what size mainline this is. Let's see. Oh, this is a new, if you guys read this detail 8, this is a new way that cities are requiring irrigation plans to be made. Makes it a whole lot harder to do it in the field, but in terms of conservation of water, it's a great idea. What it says, a system shall have 4 separate hydro zones: shrubs, turfs, turf rotor, and bubblers. Now what this means is, if you have a finger island, for example, this one, you'll need to have a separate zone that controls the 3 spray heads, this one, and this one, that'll water the turf, a separate zone that'll water the tree, and then a separate zone that'll water any plants. So in one island, you could have potentially 3 different zones run into there just to water the plants, the sod, the tree. Back to the mainline. Mainline location were shown as for graphic clarity. Install at back of curb. So let's see if we can find out what size mainline this is. This one is quite confusing. Doesn't seem to be marked anywhere. So hopefully you don't have this plan, because then you won't be able to tell what size the main line is. But there you go. That's the something for me to find out. Usually they should call out what size main line it is. Oh, 2-inch. Here you go. Here's a call out, 2-inch main line. It's the first time I see it. 2-inch sleeve. So you guys know how to do sleeves. And then just knowing the total zones, you should be able to just find the highest number on the valve. So if it goes 1, 2, you guys will want to find out how many zones. Or if they call it out right here, these are a cheat way, 30 zones, which is confusing because there was a higher number.
Chris, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I had a question.
Go ahead.
Could you go back to where you just called out the main line, the 2-inch main line?
Yeah.
Because I noticed that if where the valve is on the one side is 2 inches, on the other side it's an inch and a quarter. Where they call out the main line there, is that, I mean, typical? I mean, what would they be trying to achieve there?
I think this one is just because that's an existing system right here.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they just identified that the existing system's like 1 1/4 inches,
Mm-hmm.
which doesn't make any sense. It's probably bigger than that.
Yeah.
And then switches to a 2-inch. I think a 2-inch main line is probably too small for this job.
Yeah.
You know,
But
you wouldn't
is it
have.
like, is it typical for the main line to typically be like one continuous size and then the subsequent lines are typically smaller?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So your main line is gonna be the biggest pipe in your whole irrigation system because that's carrying the brunt of the water, the bulk of it. So typically, you know, if we find a valve, so typically your main line is your biggest size. Then the exit from the valve will be the next biggest up.
Mm-hmm.
And then as it gets further away from the valve,
Mm-hmm.
the fewer, like the lesser the heads on it, the
Mhm.
smaller the pipe gets.
Gotcha.
So this, and you know, this plan is not as good as you would hope so, because I really only see like two sizes called out here, 1.25 inches and 1.5 inches. All these should be smaller. But if we go back, I'll go back to this one. You see where this line comes out and there's only two heads here,
Mhm.
it goes down to a 3/4 inch pipe,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is the smallest pipe basically you would use, 3/4. As it gets further, it goes 1 inch and then 1.5 inches, 2.5. So yeah, as it gets further away from the valve with less heads on it, the size of the pipe gets smaller.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
Usually
thanks.
like, huh?
I said thank you for
Yeah,
answering
no
my
problem.
question.
Yeah, rule of thumb is like a 3/4 inch pipe should have like 2 to 3 heads on it,
Mm-hmm.
and an inch can have 5 plus whatever's on the 3/4, and then you go adding on to that. So that's how you'll determine the size of your valve and stuff.
Gotcha.
I think I've covered everything that you guys will see on the test. Does anyone have any other questions?
Yeah.
I have a question about it. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You go first.
Thank you. I don't know. I mean, I have a question about the test. Are we going just to have like irrigation plans and we're going to identify certain like features of the irrigation plan, or we're going to actually calculate the GPM of the system and we're going to find out the number?
No, you won't calculate anything.
Okay.
They're just going to test your general knowledge of how to read an irrigation plan.
Oh, okay.
They just want you to be
Thank
able to
you.
look at it. And if they say, you know, this is a sample question. If they say how many heads are in the finger island, you'll be able to say, you know, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not one of the questions on the test, but similar. An example would be like zone 22. How many gallons per minute does it have? And you would have to find, you know, zone 22 on the plan and know how to read what this is, or what size valve is zone 23. That's just, it'll just be reading a plan.
Okay. Thank you.
Someone else had a question?
Are you going to email any of this stuff or anything like study type material or anything, or no?
No, this one's pretty straightforward. I think you guys only have like 6 or 7 questions about irrigation.
Oh, okay.
If you guys have that YouTube link that they sent for the last review, it'll be similar to what we went over today.
Okay.
But I have all the questions, so I made sure, you know, I touched on everything. If everything that I said sounds, you know, pretty straightforward to you, you guys will do just fine.
Okey-doke.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm going to email also the recording. This recording. This is very good, Chris.
Awesome. I would have combed my hair. Yep. All right. Yeah. If that's it, I think you guys are good to go.
Chris, I'm sorry, I had one question.
Yep.
I was curious. I have a little experience working with irrigation. I mean, I've worked very closely with irrigation contractors in the past. But if I wanted to get to know a little bit more about irrigation design, I mean, would I reach out to like the manufacturers to like take a class in that, or what would you recommend?
Yeah, you know, Rainbird, they have classes on how to do irrigation design, and I've read a book that they have on it. Let's see if I can. Yeah, Rainbird definitely. I think they have, you know, a couple different. I don't know if they do classes anymore, but there's a book this thick, and it'll tell you, you know, the pipe this size can carry this many gallons on it, and this is how many heads you can put on it. I learned just by doing it, by reading plans. I designed a couple of them, and you know, they worked. And so I'm a self-proclaimed irrigation designer.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank
Free
you.
sprinkler design service. I didn't even know they. Look at that. They'll design your house for free. Yep. All right. Anyone else? Anything else?
All right, Chris, thank you. Thank you very much.
No problemo, guys. I wish you guys all luck. Good luck on the tests.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Have a good night. Bye, Henry.
Ciao. Thank you very much. All right, guys, let's go in. Let's try to, I'm going to share you general knowledge. We're going to see tonight general knowledge. Can everybody see it?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Okay, so this section is, I mean, remember, you have plan ID, you have a plan review, you have a grade and standards, and what is not there is going to be general knowledge. So we're going to see tonight some plant installation, pruning, soil, pest, disease, something like that. I think it's going to be like a 50 questions. Every question is half a point, so you have 25 points over there. Okay, so it's going to be also, again, it's going to be multiple choice. Oh, why is not moving this? Let me see it again. Right. So the first one is planting. I hope that everybody's know how to plant the tree. Very, very important to follow this photo. So root ball has to be at least, you need to have at least 1 inch and a half above ground. So the root ball has to be at least 10% above the landscape line, above the landscape soil. No mulch above the root ball. So the mulch has to be only at the edge of the root ball. So you need to have some space here. You see my mouse here? So you're going to have some space so that when you are watering, the water can go directly to the roots. So you don't have any mulch here that's going to take the water. Backfill soil has to be the same soil that you remove it, the same soil that you're going to put on in the hole. The hole has to be wide, so wider. We're talking about 2 or 3 times wider as the root ball. That's very important because when the roots are going to develop, they're going to hit the the backfill. The backfill is very compacted. The roots are going to have some problems. So the more loose is the soil, the more probability are that the roots are going to colonize the space very quick. Very, very important. Yeah, Mark. Yep.
No, I just had a quick question.
Mhm.
When you put in the backfill soil, because I've heard it recommended that you should always mix the backfill soil with whatever soil is contained in the root balls, so that the roots don't like shock when they move out of the root ball and into the surrounding soil.
Are you talking container or burlap burlap or?
Well, I've always heard it like both in a container and even if it's been balled in burlap, because balled and burlap trees that I've worked with usually contain some soil and fertilizer from the nursery, and then you're going to be, the roots are going to find themselves into the surrounding soil. I've always been told that sometimes that can cause shock in the young tree, and it's always good to mix the backfill soil with some of the soil that's in the root ball.
Yeah, you can do that. The thing that we don't recommend is that you can buy, in Home Depot, and you can buy in your garden center, and you mix the backfill with another stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's not recommended.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Sure. I don't know why I cannot. Right. So landscape installation here, you see the more or less. I'm not going to read all this stuff, but normally, I mean, the hole has to be again not very deep. So you have a here. Let's see, you have a here. I don't know, 20 inches. I mean, the hole has to be at least maybe 19 inches. So you're going to have 1 inch is going to be above ground. The majority of the problems are when the hole is too deep. So let's see, this is 20 inches here, and you dig a hole like a 30 inches. So you basically you are, the plant is going to be 10 inches deep, and that's a huge problem. So normally the recommendation again is 1 inch above ground is a good way to do it. Okay. All right, so the most important thing after installation is water, right? Try to memorize this. It's not fertilizer, it's not soil, it's not the sun, it's the water. So it's very, very important, and we have it here, some diagram or some table. This is going to tell you more or less how often you need to irrigate and how often. So here is trees less than 2 inches caliper. The first 2 weeks you need to irrigate this every day, okay? And every other day for 2 months and weekly until establishment. If the trees are big guys, more than 4 inches, you need to irrigate this every day for 6 weeks. That's key to understand. I mean, the bigger the tree, the more water you need to apply. Okay. Right. So, which one of these is correct? The planting, the installation is correct. The right or the left?
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
What is the difference between what is missing in the left?
Bug in the trunk.
The root flare is missing, and it's susceptible to disease if you're burying the trunk like that.
Exactly. So the root flare is very important that you can identify a flare. So this is the root flare, is the connection between the roots and the trunk. If you don't see it, it's because the flare is too deep in the soil. And as you say, it's going to cause diseases and it's going to cause a lot of problem stress and a lot of problems. So very, very important to identify the flare. So in this one here, you can see the tree and you can see the first root here. So this is the mahogany and this is perfect, okay? In the case of palms, you're going to see a lot of adventitious roots. This is what the palms are going to develop. I mean, when you plant the palm, they're going to develop a huge or a lot of new roots. That roots, the name is adventitious roots. And this is more or less, the palm is able to produce roots from some growing points. And this is the difference between the palm and the tree. So the palms are going to produce a lot of adventitious roots, the trees not. Right, so what's the problem here?
Second root.
Exactly, so you need to, when you do the planting, you need to correct the problem. So you have some circling roots, you need to cut this, try to correct this at the time of plant installation, okay?
Henry, let me ask you.
Yep.
In that stage, it's possible to remove that root?
Yes, that's a borderline. This is, I think this is a gambolimbo, I am not sure. Yeah, you can go ahead and believe me or not, I mean, this is a lot of trial and error. I kill a lot of trees. But yes, if you apply water, you can correct this tree.
They survive.
Sorry?
They survive.
Yeah, if you apply water, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Hmm? Right, so when you're going to do the installation, the first thing you need to do is to find this type of root, the topmost root, the big one. You need to find that, and that root has to be at the same level that the soil. Okay, in this case, is too deep. So what do you need to do? You need to remove the soil and to see the root, and that's the best way to plant it. So when you see this, let's see this is a container tree. You have all these circling roots here, and the topmost root is again too deep in the soil. So you at the time of installation, you remove the soil and you cut all the circling roots. Okay, where are you going to do the cutting? So you cut here. This one here you cut here. This one here you made a cut here. Okay, that's very, very important. All right, this is the end product. Take a look. I mean, the soil, the mulch is like 1-2 inches far from the trunk. So they have some space here, so the water can go directly to the roots. You can see the flare. So that's a very good, very good installation. So what happened here? What's the main problem? I'm seeing this a lot. Yeah, Mark?
They buried that.
It's suffocating the
deep.
tree.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Go ahead, Mark.
No, yeah, I was just gonna say they buried that way too deep, and
Okay.
not only that, they put the mulch way too close to the trunk.
Okay. So what problem is going to cause the mulch? I mean, the mulch is very good, but what problem is going to cause?
Fungus.
Fungus.
Yeah, exactly. And also oxygen depletion. People don't realize this, but you put so much mulch here, and let's say you have a huge rain. So what's going to happen with the mulch? It's going to stay wet for a long time, correct?
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm figuring it form some kind of seal above ground.
Exactly. So that's a condition of more or less saturation. The soil is going to be too much, too long saturated. So oxygen is not going to be there.
Right.
So remember this, okay? Right, so this is a more or less, soil should be at least 3 feet, what is this? When planting, soil should be 3 feet deep. All right, this is more or less a soil volume. People don't take this in consideration, but if you were going to plant a big tree, a 16 inches live oak, you need to provide that live oak with 1,000 cubic feet of soil, more or less. Okay, otherwise you're going to have bonsai. So soil volume is also very, very important. So look at this. I mean, you have a lot of space here, you have a lot of soil volume, you have big trees here, but the distance between this and this has to be, you need to have some space. I mean, because otherwise you're going to cause a lot of problem to the street and with the corp. So 10 feet at least from the trunk to the street. All right, what happened here?
Too deep.
Too deep. And also what type of damage is this?
Oh.
We
Mechanic.
did it.
Yeah, we did it. You bet. Yep. I took this picture in the, I think was on the 86 highway. So yeah, this is a pigeon plum. I mean, it's too deep, very bad soil, and the damage is amazing. So of course, the plants are in the stress. They're not growing for the last 5 years. I mean, they are standby over there, but they're not growing. Okay, important, when you're going to plant like a free grow, the fabric, mainly if you have some synthetic fabric, must be removed from the planting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and people don't realize that, and I'm seeing a lot of problems. People planted the fabric over there, they leave it alone, and the trees are not growing. I mean, because again, the fabric is going to cause a problem with the roots. The roots cannot go, they're going to have like a, I would say, like a wall over there. All right, so very, very important, the staking. Okay, the stakings are important. They're going to protect the tree from mechanical injury. They're going to support the tree, etc., etc. The stakes, they need to go down to the native soil. Many people do the staking, but they put the stakes in the tree hole over there. So when the tree has some problems, all the system is going to collapse. So again, the stakes has to be down into the native soil. Okay, you have many, many types of staking systems. Depending the budget, but the main problem is that sometimes the stake is not going deep into the soil, and this causes a lot of instability.
Which one do you recommend, Henry?
Depending the tree, I mean, if you have small trees, you can do this one here. If you have big trees like a 4 or 5 inches caliper, you need to have this one here. So there are too many systems now. Let me show you this one here. I can show you later. But depending the system, all are good if you follow more or less the instructions. Okay. Okay. This is another one. This is another one. You're going to stake the root ball. Okay, this one is very effective, and basically you don't need to remove it because it's going to many times it's biodegradable. So you leave it alone. So this is a very good system to use. Some problems, I am seeing these problems
Usually.
everywhere. Yeah, strangulations. I mean, this is a very old trees. I mean, maybe they are in the landscape for 5 years and people don't remove it. So you can see the damage here, the denting. Okay. So all these systems are good, and the guideline is to remove it after 1 year. If the tree is not established after 1 year, it's because the roots have some problems. But otherwise, the tree needs to be ready after 1 year. All right, so there are plenty of systems. Wellington tape, colors, stakes, are many systems. Okay. Again, more problems. Right, what happened here again?
Mechanic damage.
Yeah, maybe the mowers, weed eater, etc. Right, important, the terminology. Establishment period is very important. And this is the time it takes for a tree to regenerate enough roots to stay alive without irrigation. Okay, so this is, everybody wants this. I mean, you are going to babysitter the tree for let's see, for 6 months or 1 year. After 1 year, I mean, that's it. The tree needs to grow, you know, alone. And so normally it takes 3 to 4 months for each trunk caliper. So let's see, if you have a 2 inches or 3 inches caliper live oak, you need to do the babysitting for 1 year. After 1 year, you leave it alone. Because there is no way that you can, you know, you can maintain or irrigate a tree, you know, after that. So there is no money to do that. So, but again, the water is the most important one. And the first 2, 3, or 4 weeks are the most important one. If you missed that window, I mean, the times for establishment double. So it's going to be not 3 to 4 months, could be 6 to 8 months per inch caliper. All right, so again, mulch is very good, but too much mulch could reduce oxygen level in the soil. So that's good for you guys to know. But mulch has many benefits. Could you name some benefits of the mulch? Are you there, guys?
Yeah, it's there. It helps control the weeds, regulate soil temperature.
Yeah.
Minimize the chance for mechanical damage to the trunk.
Yeah. Perfect. So that's a good for me. That's how you say, my dream. I can see the trees over there, and I have a huge you know, mulch area. So for me, that's the way to go. Unfortunately, we don't see this very often. But I mean, if you can see here, you don't have any competitions from the grass to the trees. You can keep the mower machines very far away from the trunk. This soil here has a lot of microbes. They are taking the mulch. Temperature is better here. Humidity is better here. So this is the perfect type of scenario. So we can do this everywhere. I mean, the trees are going to look better. All right. So again, watering is the secret ingredient. Water is everything. And you remember what Chris was talking about by now, that you need to have some different zones, depending the grass, depending the shrubs, depending the ground covers. That makes sense because I mean, grass and trees, they have different type of water requirements. So you need a bubbler here, maybe you need a rotor here, maybe you for the shrubs, maybe you need some drip irrigation. So every plant has different requirements. All right, so this is a landscape under construction, and microfinance is going to see more in detail this next week. But what is missing here?
Cover.
Sorry?
You need to cover all the trunk area of the tree.
Okay, you mean a barrier or a fence, something like that?
Exactly.
Protection.
Yeah, so the barrier, the fence is missing here, and this is a huge problem because imagine here, you know, the compaction, imagine here the damage we're going to cause. This is amazing, guys. So yeah, the poor tree here, they don't have any they don't have any I don't have any way it's going to be in good shape. So fence and barriers are very, very important. All right, any question on installation?
Nope.
Right, so we're going to skip to pruning. Also pruning is very important. The selective removal of plant parts to meet specific goals or objectives, the pruning. So you need to have a goal, you need to have some objectives before doing the pruning. And the principal objectives are to make the tree stronger and safer. You need to correct some problems that you have in the tree. You want to improve the vigor and the health of the tree. You want to increase light penetration and wind resistance. Or vista pruning, you need to open some holes so people can see it, you know, the landscape. So basically, these are the most important objectives. Structural pruning, you're going to see this terminology many times in the exam. So structural pruning or subordination is another one. Is the reducing of length of competing stems, columnar leader, by using reduction cuts can create a stronger central leader. We're going to see this in a minute. So you want to improve wind tolerance, you want to promote stronger branch attachment and better tree structure. You want to improve the tree appearance and longevity and reduce the likelihood of limb failure. All right, so you have this tree, this is a live oak before pruning, and you have the tree after pruning. When you have this tree with no pruning, you're going to see this could be the main leader, and these branches are competing with the main leader. So basically, you want the leader to be the stronger, the taller, and the bigger one. So what are you going to do? Well, I prune this one here, and I prune the other one maybe here, and this is the end product. Okay, now you have the leader, and the branches that are competing with the leader are shorter. So now the leader is going to grow faster because they have more light penetration. Light is everything. So they're going to produce more branches in this side here and this side here, and this one is going to slow down a little bit in growth. So this is more or less a structural pruning in 1 minute. So you remove structurally weak branches and leave the central leader with several branches evenly distributed along its length. But you need to have some branches here. Okay. Yep. Go ahead, Mark.
Just a kind of quick question about that. I mean, this is obviously a little bit of a younger tree. I mean, if you were to encounter like the same problem with a tree that's already mature, I mean, how do you avoid the issue of, you know, potentially hat racking? Well, not completely hat racking, but, you know, cutting the branch, you know, tips off of a larger branch.
Yeah, this is,
kind of get that structural quality that you got there.
yeah, this is difficult. I mean, when you have a mature tree, it's very difficult to accomplish this one. You need to do it, maybe mature tree, you need to do it, you know, every year and a half for 10 years to have a good product.
Okay.
So you can do it, but it's going to require, you know, 6 times, 7 times the pruning.
Mm-hmm.
Little by little, slowly.
Okay.
This is why, you know, small trees are, it's very easy to do it. You can do this in, you know, 5 minutes and you're done. Big trees, you need to move the bucket truck, you need to have you need to climb the tree. It's very, very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so some terminology. This is the branch color here, and this is the branch bark ridge. Okay, and the colors is overlapping trunk and branch tissue that form this swelling here. So here you have a branch and the trunk tissue, they grow in the same place. This is the color. And basically the ridge is like a ridge. It's a raised area that is going to differentiate the branch. So why this is important? Because when you make the cut, you need to make the cut outside the color and outside the ridge. So you make the cut here, the pruning cut, okay? All right, so another terminology you're going to see it is codominant stems. Basically, these guys are codominant stems because they have the same diameter. Okay, so which one is the leader here? Okay, none, because they're both the same. So you have 2 trunks. They are the same. They are not branches. They are trunks. You have two different trunks, the same diameter. So the attachment is very weak. So this is a very weak point here. And you have it. So codominant stems are very bad for trees. You need to or remove it, or do some reduction cut here, or remove it. But you cannot leave this here because this is very weak. All right, another term is scaffold branches. So scaffold branches are permanent branches on the tree. So the branches, you have a big tree over there, the branches that are 14 feet, 8 feet, 25 feet, these are the permanent branches. The branches that are here in the lower part of the tree, they are not permanent. They're going to survive. They are not permanent. Okay. All right. The other term is the 3-step pruning process. Okay. Let's see. You want to remove this branch here. If you make a cut here, you're going to tear the bark because it's too much weight. So you're going to tear the bark. So the best way to do it is to remove this. You need to do three different cuts. You do one cut here, you do another cut, a second cut here. So the branch is going to break the first cut. When you have this small piece of wood, you make the final cut here. Oops, sorry. Okay. Can you see it? So it's very important that the final cut is very clear because you don't want to damage the bark. If you damage the bark, this is going to be more stress for the tree. It's going to attract some beetles, some fungi. So it's going to be a mess. So it's very, very important. Take your time that the final cut has to be very clear. All right, so what happened here?
Split.
Why?
Included bark.
Exactly. So you don't have any connection. These are codominant stems. they have included bark, it's bark that is pinched between the two stems. So there is no attachment over there. So you have any, wind, any type of a rain, and it's going to be split, okay? So a good pruning is to try to avoid that this to happen, because when they happen, it's too late. Now, maybe you need to remove the tree because the damage is too big, the damage. So a good pruning has to be before the problem arrives. So it has to be proactive, okay? Okay, to do the pruning, you have, in general, two different types of pruning. You have reduction cuts and you have removal cuts. Reduction cuts, you're going to remove the trunk back to a lateral. So you're going to remove the big guy back to a lateral, and removal cuts, you are going to remove lateral back to the trunk. Okay, and any of these has different goals. So this one here, you want to remove the laterals because you want to open the canopy. Let's say you have the canopy here, the canopy is too dense, too compact. You want to open the canopy to allow wind, to allow light penetration. This is removal cuts. And reduction cuts, maybe the tree do have two, and this is a codominant stem here. So you want to make a cut here, a reduction cut, in order to slow down the growth of these branches. So reduction cut and removal cut. So when you are doing a pruning, a mature tree pruning, you need to use both type of cuts. And you need to know which type are you going to use. Is that clear? All right, you guys are a genius. All right, so this one is a thinning cut. I want to remove this one here, so I'll make a cut. This is the color, this is the reach. So it's a perfect cut. All right, so if you don't do this type of cuts and you don't follow the guidelines, you're going to do some tree abuse. So this is the bad cuts. And in Broward County, they find you in Broward, Miami, in any place they can find you, and you don't want that. All the pruning has to be by the standards, the ANSI 8300 standards. This is the American National Standard Institute. So this is all the documents that they have, all the regulations, the pruning regulation, that you need to do this, you cannot do that. So this is the manual that is going to tell you what to do or what not to do. So ANSI 8300. So bad cuts are overlifting, topping, flush cuts, hard racking, stop cuts, etc. Okay, these are bad cuts. Right, so what is this? Okay. Yeah. This is hard racking. Yep. So the canopy makes the new growth that's going to develop. They develop very fast, but it's very weak attached. That's the problem. And that's very weak attached. So when you have a wind, when a wind event, or a storm or hurricane, the tree has the tree is not going to be in good form. So this is a no-no. Yep. Go ahead, Mark.
I mean, those are some, pretty, a lot of the trees you see here, they're mature trees. I mean, if you were faced with that, I mean, is your best recommendation at that point just remove it, or can any of these trees be saved at this point?
No, this is too far away. It has to be removed. Yeah. That's the problem. I mean, that tree maybe is, 20, 30 years old.
Yeah.
And you are, losing the canopy, and well, the tree is in bad place because it's too close to the building. And so that's another problem.
Yeah.
But this one here is, I don't know, maybe it's an avocado tree, I'm not sure, but yeah, you need to remove it. Right, overlifting is another one. It's very bad. It's very common. You remove only the lower part of the tree. Many people are doing this because they don't have any, and you have some power lines here. This is worse. If you don't have bucket truck, or you have only a pole saw, this is the only way you can do it. Okay, because from here to here, maybe this, you have it, I don't know, 12 feet, 15 feet. But it's very bad because now you have all the weight is on the top of the canopy. So imagine you have a wind, so the canopy is going to move a lot. So it's going to, the momentum for these branches is huge. So this is a very weak point here because you have a lot of weight here moving. You don't have nothing here to buffer the energy that these branches are producing. So you have a lot of momentum here, and there's a lot of possibility that it's going to break here. So that's also a no-no. Pushes the center of gravity and bulk of the canopy higher. Yeah, the center of gravity here. Supposedly, if the canopy is full here, maybe the center of gravity could be in this point here. But now, because they don't have any weight here, the center of gravity here is way, way, way too high. Maybe it's here. So if the center of gravity is different, the momentum here is going to be huge. All right, lion's telling is another one here. You remove all the branches. I don't know why, and you leave it only, the top here. So it's like the branch is like looks like a lion tail, more or less. Again, it's the same problem, and you have too much weight here, and the branch is going to break maybe here or here, but they don't have any buffer. Okay, flush cuts. Remember I told you about the branch color and about branch reach. When you don't respect that area, you make the cut flush, it's going to be a problem because I forget to tell you, when you have the branch color, you have some type of enzymes inside that is going to help the tree for any fungi or any type of problem that the tree is going to have it. So if you cut the color, you cut also the enzymes. So the tree, they don't have any defense to suppress the attack to any fungi. So this is an open wood here. So the fungi is going to go directly into the trunk. And when you have this open wound, this is going to, the tree is going to, the beetles are going to smell some type of aromatic product that the tree is, is producing. So the tree is going to be attracted, the beetles are going to be attracted, and it's going to damage the trunk. Okay, rounding is another way, another problem. I mean, people love to do this in the ficus trees. They like to have it this like a squares or circles, and this is very bad for the tree also. I mean, because they don't have any. It's too dense. Imagine we have it here, a hurricane. So this is going to be too much. How you say it? Too much.
Compact.
Impact for the wind. Yeah, thank you. All right, palms is another thing that people get for granted. The code said, not only in Broward, in all the state, that if you're going to remove any front, the front has to be only from the 9 to 3 position. So you can remove anything above the horizontal line. You can remove anything below horizontal line, but don't remove anything above horizontal line.
Henry,
Yep.
do you know, is the Dade County Code the same?
Yeah.
It
the
is,
same
okay.
thing. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
The same thing. So this is a good or bad?
But
Yeah.
Bad.
And the PAN are going to develop this necking because the tree they need to have it you know, energy from the front. So if you don't have any front, so the PAN are going to be under stress. They're going to take the nutrients from the trunk. So they're going to produce this type of necking. All right, so again, all the standards are here. This is the American National Standard Institute. You can read it, it's a very good document. If you want to know more about pruning, try to Google Ed Gilman. He really is a very good guy. His books are amazing. Or just Google it. I mean, his website is amazing. So one-stop shop. I mean, Ed Gilman, pruning, planting, design, everything. Okay, any question on pruning? I know I am going fast here, but a lot of material. All right, we're going to cover soil analysis here. And this is a little tricky, soil analysis. In theory, soil analysis is very important. It's going to provide you status of nutritional status of the nutrients. It's going to tell you pH, electroconductivity, again, acidity, etc. It's good to do it in some occasions. Right, we have it here, the nutritions, the plants, they need these 16 essential elements, okay? We have a macro nutrients and we have a micronutrients. So what's the difference between micro and macro?
I think micro are trace elements, very small amount.
Exactly. So these elements, these 6 elements, the plants, they need a lot of this one. Micro, not too much, only very small amounts. So these are 7 micronutrients: boron, copper, iron, chloride, manganese, molybdenum, and zinc. Okay. So again, macronutrients, and these are the micronutrients. If you see calcium, magnesium, sulfur, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, these macronutrients. Okay. And hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon are minerals, and these are from the air, basically. All right, so when you are going to buy the fertilizer bag, you're going to find 3 numbers. For example, 8 to 12, 24 to 24, 16, 4, 8, etc. Okay, these 3 numbers are going to tell you the percentage of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium that are in the bag. Okay, when the bag has the 3 elements, we are saying that the fertilizer is complete. They have the 3 elements, so the fertilizer is complete. Okay. Sometimes you want to apply only iron, or sometimes you're going to apply only nitrogen or potassium. So if you apply only potassium, that fertilizer is not complete. It's only potassium. Okay. And the analysis of the grade means the 3 numbers, the percentage of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. In this case, 8 to 10, 8% nitrogen, 2% phosphorus, and 10% potassium. Okay, and this is a complete fertilizer, right? Now, to give it to you a more complicated, you can have it as slow release or quick release. Okay, that means that the bag is going to release the nutrients quick. Quick means maybe in 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or slow, maybe 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, 2 years. Okay, so which one do you believe are more efficient, slow release or quick release? Slow release, exactly. So because here you have it, the plant needs. I mean, you have it, let's see, a live oak. I mean, live oak is growing always. So they always need some type of nutrients from the soil. If you apply something quick, that happened. I mean, you have it in 1 week, it's gone. You apply again, and 3 months later, 1 week later, it's gone. But you apply something slow, at least you're going to have it some type of 3 months, 2 months of nutrient in the soil. So every 3 months or every 4 months, you apply again. So you have something more similar than the plant needs. Yep.
Isn't
Go ahead,
there
Mark.
also a risk with the fast release of burning the roots?
Yeah, exactly. Not only because shade trees, they don't need too much fertilization, but if you're going to apply, avocado, mangoes, fruit trees, or palms, and you're going to apply a quick release, yes, you can. If you apply too much, you can burn the roots. There's no doubt. Mhm. So again, this is palm fertilizer. We recommend apply 8 to 12. We recommend this to apply every 4 times a year, 1.5 pounds per 100 square feet, more or less. So that means we're going to apply, 4, 5, 6 pounds of the 8 to 12 4 times a year. 4 times a year, maybe every 3 months. Okay. Right. Another term that's important is pH. The pH is going to measure the alkalinity or acidity of the soil solution. Okay. Think about milk or orange juice. Okay. Maybe the soil is like a milk, so it's very alkaline, or maybe the soil is like a orange juice, it's very acidic. Okay. And that depends of the chemistry of the soil. So the soils in South Florida are very, very what, alkaline or acidic? Okay, very alkaline. We are here. We are more or less in my office. I mean, our soil is 8. Very alkaline because we have a lot of limestone. Remember, this used to be Everglades many, thousands of years ago. So you have calcium carbonate, and calcium is going to bring the pH very, very high. If you are maybe in Georgia, if you are maybe in Iowa over there, yeah, you are pH 4, 5, a little acidic. Okay, so every site is different. The plants, they need more 6, 7. They like this neutral or a little acidic. This is why the chemistry is better. The phosphorus, potassium, etc. works better if the pH is a little more acidic. All right, can you adjust the pH in the landscape? I mean, you have a huge project. I mean, you have a huge, I don't know, house or mall. Can you adjust the pH in the soil? Yep.
But it's not easy.
Yeah. Yeah, you cannot do it. I mean, it's very difficult because, again, you have too much calcium in the soil. The calcium is going to buffer. It's going to react with amendments, and always going to go to the status quo. So always going to go alkaline. It's like to change the salinity of the ocean. Can you change the ocean salinity? I mean, it's impossible because you have too much salt over there. So the soil is the same thing. Okay.
Can you apply organic material to change the pH in those soils?
Yeah, it's going to change maybe for a couple of days, but after the mulch is, degraded, the pH is going to go again onto the pH before. So it's not going to last for a long period of time. So the only time you can change the pH is you have a container. If you have containers, yeah, it's very easy to change the pH over there because it's small amount of soil, but in the whole landscape, it's very, very difficult. Okay, palm tree maintenance, we talk about this one. Potassium, manganese, iron are for palm fertilization. Palms, trees, and grasses are totally different. The grass, they need more nitrogen, more iron, and the palms, they need more potassium, manganese, iron, nitrogen, and magnesium. Okay, so this is why, I mean, if you're going to buy a grass fertilizer, don't use that fertilizer to apply to your avocado or to Phoenix, because you can kill the Phoenix if you apply too much nitrogen. All right, what is this? This is boron deficiency. Okay, and that happens because boron is very mobile in the soil. So when you have a lot of rain, you are going to flush all the boron from the soil solution, and you're going to create a boron deficiency. Okay.
Is that the same? Is that the same thing as frizzle topping?
No, frizzle topping is a manganese deficiency. It's a different one. Yeah. All right. So you have all these type of this. Here you go. It's a manganese deficiency. This is a foxtail. You can see all many different chlorosis. This is a nitrogen deficiency. This is a potassium deficiency. This is manganese deficiency. Okay. I don't think you're going to see this in the exam because really, I mean, as an inspector, you are not going to identify a deficiency in the palm. So we don't expect you to memorize all these deficiencies. Don't worry too much.
Please back to that slide for a moment, please. The one to the far right.
This one here, yeah.
What type of deficiency was that causes?
Manganese, Mn. Manganese deficiency.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, this is again general knowledge. The soil has some type of, this is not structure, this is different. Sorry for that. This is texture. So you don't have different texture in the soil. The soil could be clay, could be sandy, or could be very silt. This is the size of the particles that you have in the soil. So clay means if you go to Georgia, you're going to see this very red type of clay in the soil. Okay, we don't have this here. If you go to a baseball field, you go to the infield has a lot of clay over there. Okay, our soils are very sandy, so we are here. We are 80–90% sand. So and silt is a combination of these two. So we are here. sandy soil. So this is very important to know because the water, the nutrients, the roots, all these are going to be affected by the type of texture that you have. I mean, these clay soils are very heavy, so it's very difficult to dig a hole here. It's very difficult because they're very heavy. Sand is more easy. I mean, you can dig a hole very easy over there. And so, again, this is only general knowledge. Don't worry too much. This is very important. So what's happened here?
Compacted soil.
Compactation.
Exactly. So when the soil is very compacted, what is missing?
Oxygen.
Oxygen. Exactly. So oxygen is everything. I mean, if you want to kill a tree or palm or anything, just flood the soil for 48 hours, 72 hours, the plant is going to die. Because again, when you have too much water, oxygen is missing and the tree are going to die because the roots of the tree, they need oxygen and they need water in the same amount. Too much water is very good, it's very bad. Low water also is very bad. But this is what happened in our streets. When they build the street and the sidewalk, all the engineerings, they don't care about the trees. They care about the safety and they care about the concrete and all this stuff. So they're going to bring the machinery and they're going to compact the soil. Okay. And you as an inspector, I mean, you're going to go here and you're going to see, the trees are dying, but trees are dying because the soil is very bad. So it's very important before installation that you need to take care of this type of issue because if you don't take care of this, I mean, the plant are going to die. So this is what I told you. For big trees, they need a lot of 1,000 cubic feet of very loose type of soil, not this soil, it has to be loose, very type of soil. Right, so other topic, irrigation systems. I know it's a lot of material here to cover. You're going to have some question in the plan. So the plan Chris says, the question are going to be, you're going to read the plan, are you going to see the plan, and in the plan is going to tell you the irrigation answers. This is more about
Residential.
sorry?
No. Just about residential irrigation?
Yeah, it's about residential, it's about the design of the system, it's about the sprinklers, it's about the backflow valve, I mean, all this stuff, okay? So in general, you have three basic components of the irrigation system. You have water supply, okay? This could be a lake, could be what else? A well, etc. The water conveyance is the piping. You're going to have over there 2 inches, 2.5 inches, 3/4, etc. And these distribution devices are rotors, sprinklers, bubblers, etc. Okay. Okay, so water supply again could be a lake, could be a reclaimed water, could be a groundwater, or could be potable water, could be your house. Okay. For reclaimed water, what is the color of the pipe they're going to see? Remember that?
Purple.
Purple, exactly. Okay, what the reclaimed water has some problems. Do you know what could be one of the problems?
Pressure.
Sometimes on salt, you have a high concentration of salt in the water, so that could be a problem also. Okay, backflow devices are very important to have it. They're going to prevent contamination. They're going to prevent contamination of your water source. Okay, so these backflow devices are important in every irrigation system. They're going to have it. Again, I am not an irrigation specialist. Sorry, I cannot help you too much about this. I know, basics, but that's it. But this terminology is very, very important. Okay. Okay, here you can have some rotors. You can have some bobblers. These are the distribution devices. And again, it's important that you need to know more or less. You have some rotors. You need to know more or less the gallons per minute that you're going to have it. When you have these sprays, micro sprays, or bobblers, you can have gallon per hour. Okay, so every of these devices has different function. Okay, the irrigation zone that you're going to have it over there is going to depend of type of vegetations. So you can have it again. You can have grass. You can have it trees. You can have it ground cover. The soil characteristics. I mean, if you have it a very sandy soil, you can have some irrigation devices. But if you have a lot of very heavy soil like a clay, you have another device. And again, on your water, how much water you have available. Because if you don't have too much water, you have problems. Maybe you can use only bobblers or emitters, and that's it. You cannot use rotor because you don't have water. So, that's important to take in consideration. And again, you can have this high volume or low volume. Okay. And the rule is that don't mix rotors, don't mix sprinklers with rotors in the same zone. I mean, if you have some zone, try to use the same sprinklers or rotors, but don't mix it, because again, that area is specific for that type of water. So when you start mixing, it's a mess, because at the end of the day, you don't know how much oil you're applying. And the sprays, they apply 2 or 3 times much water as our rotors. Okay. So some type of micro irrigations are emitters or drip irrigation, drip tubing. These are types of micro irrigation. All right. Let's talk about the IPM here a little bit. There are not too many questions about IPM. So maybe it's only 1 or 2 questions. This is very important. Ladybugs are good or bad?
Good.
Good. Okay. They're beneficial. They're examples of IPM, because these guys, they can eat the bad guys. So when you have it integrated pest management, the good guys are going to do the job. So they're going to eat the bad guys. So ladybugs are good ones. You have all these type of organisms. They are good. They're going to do the job for you. There are some type of insect. I am not going to go in detail about this one here, but by seeing the damage, you can more or less know what type of insect are you're going to dealing with. Because this one here, This is a beetle here. So can you imagine the type of mandibles that this little guy needs to have it to open this type of hole? Okay. If you see some chewing in the leaves, you know that you have some caterpillars. Okay. If you see some sooty mold in your plants, you know that you have some chinch bug, whiteflies, scales, or aphids. So depending on the damage you're going to see, you can more or less know what type of insect are you going to deal with. Okay. All right, and this is the triangle of the insect or disease. So always when you have a problem, or let's say you have a disease problem, you have brown patch, for example, you're going to have the pathogen, you're going to have rhizoctonia, you're going to have humidity, it's too hot, it's too much water, and you're going to have San Agustin grass, is the host. So this triangle is very important because it's going to tell you that the disease or the insect, that's going to happen. But in order to happen, these three things has to be at the same time in the same place. Okay. So this is the disease triangle or the insect triangle. And also it's very important to know the difference between abiotic or biotic. Okay, so when you have this abiotic, what means?
That it's caused by nutrient deficiency. Cool.
Yeah, you're right. So maybe nutrient, maybe the frisal top that you talk about, earlier, manganese deficiency. Is this abiotic or biotic?
Abiotic.
Abiotic.
Exactly. So there is not any pathogen, there is not insect over there. So it's a deficiency because the soil has some problem with manganese. But you have a chinch bug problem, you have brown patch, you have a little viral necrosis, you have little bronzing. These are biotic or abiotic?
Biotic.
Yeah, exactly. Also, it's important to see the sign and the symptoms. Okay, the symptom is the effect. Okay, you're going to see the plant has sooty mold. You're going to see the plant has some leaf spot. The trunk has some damage over there. So these are the symptoms. The sign is the physical evidence of the pathogen. So you're going to see the whitefly, you're going to see the pupae, you're going to see the larvae. These are signs. Okay, so symptoms are only what you see, but you don't see the insect. You see only the symptoms. Okay. All right, so let's move on. All right, this is what type of disease it is?
Ganoderma.
Okay, Ganoderma, right? So this is the symptom or the sign?
That is the sign. It's a fungus.
Exactly. You see the conch over there. So this is the sign. This is the actual fungus that is causing Ganoderma. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to read everything here, but Ganoderma, it can affect any palm, and it's deadly. When you have this, it's nothing you can do about it. Normally happens because this is too wet, too much water over there, and you have susceptible host, the palm, you have the Ganoderma spores in the soil, and you have the humidity in the environment. So you have the triangle over there. And when you see this, it's too late, nothing you can do about it. All right, I think this is the last one. Florida-friendly landscaping. This is type of a trademark that happens of the Florida legislature registered this trademark in 2009. That means that any landscape that you're going to do has to be friendly, has to be something that is how you say it, something that is more or less is going to be good for the environment and is going to survive the condition of Florida. Okay, Florida has a very, or Miami or South Florida has very unique conditions. It's very alkaline, the soils. We have 50, 60 inches of rain. The soils are very bad. So if you want to have or to buy one plant, to bring one plant from China or Australia and to bring it to Florida, that's not Florida friendly, because I mean maybe the plant is going to die. Now Florida friendly is not only natives, because many non-natives, many exotics are good for us. Okay, so there is a difference between exotic or invasive. But you can have it a beautiful tabebuyas, you can have it a beautiful, how we say, another plant. There are many exotics that are good, and they are Florida friendly. Okay. All right, Florida friendly has 9 principles. And this is very good. The idea to plant, again, Florida friendly plants. You want to conserve water, you want to reduce pollution, you want to create a wildlife, and we want to prevent erosion. Okay. All right, the first principle, and this is promote water, we talk about this one. The first principle, the right plant in the right place. So again, this sounds very easy, but in reality it's not very easy, because urban landscape is very difficult. I mean, to plant a tree, a good tree in our streets is very, very difficult. I mean, because there are not too many trees that are going to be, they're going to do a good match. So you need to take in consideration water and light requirements, soil conditions, salt, wind tolerance, USDA, this is temperature, and resistance to pests, etc. Okay, so there's a lot of criteria here that you need to take in consideration. If you are a very good designer, you need to take this in consideration. Okay. Right, so you have these power lines. So what type of tree are you going to plant? Let's see, you have it here, mahogany, ficus, oligostrums. Which one are you going to plant below power lines?
Ligastrum.
All right, so ligastrum. This is the type of question you're going to see over there. Okay. Again, look at this. Okay, maybe the tree is too big for the place, the site. Look at this one here. Do you think this is enough soil volume for the tree?
No way.
No way, exactly. So again, you as an inspector, you need to know these things, because I mean, it's our duty to be proactive. I mean, when this thing already is too late to do anything. So it's a waste of time, waste of money, waste of everything. All right, the second principle is say water efficiently. This is very important. Water is everything. I mean, water is the main thing that the plant needs. Okay. The third one is fertilize appropriately. This is a lot of discussion between people. Shade trees, do they need fertilization, or yes or no? So that's you know, after they are already established. I don't see anybody fertilizing a live oak, to be honest with you. So I don't know. I don't think so. I think the trees, if the roots are working properly and the tree has enough soil space, I mean, they don't need any other nutrients. But this is different for grass or for fruit trees, okay? Okay, mulch, again, mulch, we talk about a lot about mulch. They have a lot of benefits, but again, they have some problems. If you apply too much mulch, you can cause a lot of problems. Attract wildfly. I mean, this is also very important. I mean, we plant the tree because the beauty, because the benefits, and the wildlife is a huge benefits for us. So we want to promote wildlife. So some of the trees, berries, bushes, yellow flowers, they attract butterflies, they attract birds. It's important for us to protect that type of trees. Manage the yard, responsible. That means if you have it some, let's see, sites and you have some wildfly over there. You don't want to propagate the wildfly for all South Florida. So you need to have your debris. You double back and you put it in the closest landfill. Don't drive the whole county to disperse the problem. Recycle when possible. That's a key one. And protect prevent the stormwater runoff. Okay, how you prevent that? When barriers, good landscape, don't fertilize too close to the canal, etc., etc. I think that's it. I think I know, guys. I'm sorry. This is a lot of material in one time. Remember, there are only 50 questions. I really highlight the most important points here for you guys. And I don't know, any question? I know it's getting late. Wow, almost 9.
How long will it take to have the results for the test?
Can you repeat that?
Like after we take the test, how long we have to wait to get the results?
This time it's going to be very fast because it's online. So I don't know. Kevin is going to grade this, but it's going to be fast. I guess 1 week, 2 weeks is going to be ready at the most.
Okay.
And it's time.
Another question. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
These first tests, how many questions it's going to have? The one for the 21st.
Okay, 25 questions are ID, 25 questions are plan review, 50 questions are general knowledge. You have 100 over there. Grading, I am not sure, to be honest.
But grading is not in this one. Grading is for the other one, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So for this one, I guess 100 questions. And for the grading, maybe 50. I'm not sure grading, but yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have class next Wednesday, right? We have the following Wednesday.
Yeah, I think next Wednesday is Veterans Day, so
yes.
Yeah, so it's going to be the other one. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So
test is timed or no?
Sorry?
How long is the test, like timed?
I don't know. It's a good question. I guess so. I mean, we are not. This is the first time, to be honest with you, that we're going to do this online, but has to be, I don't know, 2 hours.
Okay.
This is for Kevin. A Kevin question. I'm not sure.
Okay.
All right. So,
Thank you, Henry. It was very good. Very good.
all right.
Thank
so
you.
I'm going to send the recording, maybe hopefully tomorrow, right?
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
you.
guys.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.